Jared Polin, FroKnowsPhoto.com, and this is the Adorama Picks Rapid Fire Critique. It's brought to you by Adorama Picks, and this is where you submit 10 of your best images to me to give my critique and to help you out, to give you some corrective criticism and some feedback on your images. So what I look for is for you guys to submit 10 of your best images in a photo story, or just 10 images that could be totally different that, you're looking for my feedback. What you can do is you go over to the website and you click on submit photos, and then that loads. You've got rapid fire critique. Fill in all this information. You can use it for Flickr. You could use it for 500 pics. Any site that you could put 10 images on. Please don't email in 10 of your images. Make sure that they're linked somewhere. And in Flickr, make sure they're on a set or in a set so I can easily get through them and don't have to, sit there and search for it. So here we have photographer Rick Galt Photo. We're going to look at his 10 images. First things first, he's shooting with, I believe, a D90. Let's click here and see what it is. It says a D90, and the lens, in this case, focal length was 200 millimeters. And I'll scroll down here and see what lens. 70 to 202.8. All right, so we know he's using some Kik Tuchus glass right there. This is an interesting shot, especially that I think it's up against the clouds. I don't think it's in the studio. It's just something's throwing me off in the background. I don't know why, but it's an interesting shot. I think the sun is coming down, unless it was totally cut off of the background, which I don't know if it was. I like the colors. I like the tones. I like the sharpness. It just seems to lack a little bit of oomph. Like it's missing something. If there was a bee flying in there or a bug flying in there, then I think it would take it to the next step. It's not bad for what it is. I do like the color. I do like the sharpness. But I think it's missing just a little bit. So if there was something else, some action going on in it, I think it would make for a better image. Now this, I'm a hockey fan. I've shot hockey all my life. This is what you look for, and I say this all the time when you're shooting hockey. When you're shooting in the corner, this is about the face-off dot, if you know where that's at, and there's usually a hole in the glass, and he may be shooting through the hole or not. What makes me think that he is that it's clearer here than right here, so part of the lens is getting blocked off. But this is what you're looking for in a hockey image. If this was horizontal, it may have been better, but you're looking for the goalie looking at you, but then in the foreground, you've got the player who's going to the net, possibly with the puck, drawing you in to the image. I think a horizontal would have worked better in this case because you would get a little bit more of the goalie with more of the player to the left-hand side, but it's a nice, solid hockey image. I don't know if it's shot at 2.8, though. Let's see where it is shot. It should have been shot at 2.8. It was shot at 2.8, 800 ISO, 70 to 200, 1/400th of a second. Great place to be for shooting hockey. That's exactly where it should be. So I like this shot. I love how you're using something in the foreground to draw you in. You can do that with any type of photography. It creates dimension in the image, which takes your images to the next level. So nice job there. We have another hockey shot. All right, so there's static hockey shots that go on along the ice. I don't think it's the strongest shot in the world. I do like the frozen water in the air, but then you have to ask yourself, what is actually going on in this shot? What is interesting about it? And I say that not saying that it's a bad image. It's a great image. But I say that coming from a hockey background and shooting a lot of it, knowing that a lot of the standing still shots don't really have that oomph. They don't have that meaning that the action shots have. So looking for those action shots is really what it's all about. It's a good image. I like the processing. I just don't think for a subject matter that it's that interesting of a shot. Moving on, we've got an interestingly cropped, I don't know if this is an Instagram shot or it's just cropped this way. I like the tones that's going on. I like the fact that you've got a tree here and a tree here and the sun is coming through this one. Nice sky, nice clouds. It's a little on the grayish side for the contrast. I like more, but in this case, I think this pulled back contrast works. I love the shadow that's created here on the ground. I think it's a very solid image. Nice job right there. Moving on, we've got a bird. And this is cropped. I can guarantee that this is cropped. And the reason I say that is I can see it really looks like it's cropped. 120 millimeters, 5.6, 1/800th of a second, 500 ISO. I really think it's cropped. I don't know if it's going to tell me in here. Yawn, 55 to 200. Whoa. So he must have gotten this lens, must have gotten the 70 to 200. Either he rented it or just didn't have it. So maybe it's not cropped. Maybe it's just the quality of the lens. You can see right around here, There's some pixelation going on in the bird. It's a nice shot. I think more contrast. Pump that up a little bit. Get rid of the gray in the background, and it becomes a stronger image. I actually like the little bit of the Flappy McFlapperson wings that they're going, and there's some movement while the beak and the bill and the eye is still in focus and nice and frozen. We've got I'm a dog. I'm running away from my owner. I know, I'm not supposed to. I like the dog shot. I like that the dog is running towards the camera. It's that eye in the sun is kind of weird. It kind of looks like a man in a mask. But I do like the shot. I like that you can see the owner or whoever's dog it is in the background. I like that. I like that the dog's ears are floppy and flappy. It's a cool shot. I think anybody would love to have this image if they were a dog owner. Very nice job on that one. Okay, so we've got cute yachting going on. We got people hanging out in the parking lot, it looks like. First things first, be sure not to cut off fingers over here. There was more room to crop by rotating this to the right-hand side a little bit more, so you wouldn't cut off the fingers of this gentleman. But I do not mind the hand motion here because he's frozen. In terms of lenses, I'm going to say that the ISO was bumped here, I'm going to say 3200. Let's see where it was at. 1600, 35 at f2, so is that a 35-1.8 that they're using? Yep, 35-1.8, 1/30th of a second at f2. All right. I don't mind that. That's not hurting the image at all because they're frozen. Just the composition is the one thing to look for in this image. Other than that, just maybe pull back on some of that yellow and you'll be good to go. Another interesting shot. So we've got the bridge. I like symmetry. I like things that run even left to right. One thing I just noticed as I leaned around my microphone is this tree in the background. Now, I'm not a big fan of taking things out that are in the image, but I think that taking out the trees in the background in this case, just a quick edit in Photoshop, would make this image a little stronger. But I like the repeating lines and everything that's going on in the image, so nice job right there. This is interesting. We've got these whispering willow thingy-mabobbers floating around. 35mm lens, f20, third of a second? Or is that point? I don't know what that was. Didn't give it to me in the other terms. It's an interesting shot. Long exposure, getting the wind blowing around at f20. Pretty interesting. It's interesting. I don't know what I would do with it. I don't know if I would put it in a portfolio and all of that, unless it was part of the story of these reeds and then the shore and all of that stuff like that. So moving forward, this looks like a vineyard, right? So we got a vineyard. The color throws me. I think I would convert this to a black and white or possibly do a different color split tone, and I think it would be strong. I like how you've got this here, you've got the mountains here, you've got this over here, you've got that over there. I think a little more detail in this image would do it justice, and possibly a different split tone, if not just straight up black and white. And that does bring us to the end of this photo set from Rick Galt Photo. I think he did a very nice job. I think there's definitely a nice cross-section of work in here to build upon. The hockey image is great. I love that. I like the first one as well with the flower. I think this is a strong image. This is, it's lacking a lot of interest, especially with the background. I like to wrap things in stories and try to be able to figure it out by telling the story of the image. I just think these are guys just hanging out in a parking lot playing music, and it doesn't wrap it in enough context for me. I like this as a nice shot. The bird one doesn't do much. It's just nature. If you're into the nature photography, maybe this is the coolest thing. It's a duckbill flapopotamus or something. This is a cool shot. I really like this one. I do like that it is pulled back on the mutedness of the contrast. We know what I say about that. This is strong, but I try to go horizontal with it, and that brings us back to the very beginning. So if you'd like to submit a rapid-fire critique, definitely go over to the website, click on Submit Photos, and use the rapid-fire critique section here to submit your link. It could be wherever you store 10 images, 500 pics, Flickr, just not Facebook. Facebook isn't the greatest place to store them because they don't look good. Wherever you have a gallery that looks good and we can go through and see the metadata to help you learn would be great. So be sure to send those images in. I look forward to critiquing some more for the Adorama Pix Rapid Fire Critique. Until the next time, Jared Polenfronosphoto.com. See ya.